Hi folks, this is Rose from In Rose's Garden, and today we're going to work on a pretty bracelet using beads from our bargain bead box for July, Plumage. This one's going to be pretty bright. Now everything else I had silver spacers in, and I have put gold spacers in this particular bracelet. Though we could change them to silver so they're like everything else. I'm still debating if I want to do that. If I do, I'm going to have to change all of my findings I have here too, but we will. We will just turn down and work on it like this. I like the gold. Okay, I have got the last of this spool of dark blue lapis. I think that should be plenty, so we'll just take that off of here, and then we will put a bead stopper on one side. And what we're going to do with this is we're going to take this big green one, and even though these are silver, I don't think you'll see them too much. They're going to be have beads inside them and such. So we're just going to put this on like here. And then we're going to put these a couple of rondelles on either side. Well, need to take that off, but do that. See how that's now, the silver's pretty much not visible, so I'm not going to worry about it too much. Then we will do 3 spacers. Well, better put this on whichever side I'm not working on. I have a tendency to drop things, and we don't want to drop our 1, 2. This side's a little sticky because it had the tape on it. 3. Then we'll put on this coin. 1, 2, 3 again, and then another rondelle. See how pretty the gold is with these, though? That's why I decided to go with the gold. 2 and 3. Then the next rondelle. 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to put on one of these little English cuts. One, 2, 3, and another rondelle. Come on, baby, where's your hole? There we go. One, 2, 3, and then we're going to put on this other coin here. Two, 3, rondelle. 1, 2, 3, English cut. Oops, wasn't supposed to do that. 1, 2, 3. English cut. Now I believe, I believe I have 2 more of these spacers on for the end here. So we'll put that on here. Then we're going to take our and put this on this side. And then we'll get to work doing the exact same pattern on the other side over here. So it's the 1, 2, 3, and then the coin. 1, 2, 3, coin, 1, 2, come on, baby. 2, 3, well, this rondelle has a big chip out of it. We'll put it aside and we'll get a different one out of the bag here. Now it's time for that rondelle, and since we have it already, it's damaged. It's got that big chip out of the top of it. We don't want to use that one, so we'll put a bead stopper on and we'll go get a new one. See how that's got this big chip out of it right here? So I will go get a new one to replace that one and be right back. Okay, I'm back with the replacement rondelle here. So we'll put that on. Our 3 spacers. Our English cut. And our last 2 spacers. Now this may be too long, it may be too short. Let's measure up. Now see, that says 7 and a little over 7 1/4, about 7 3/8, and I don't want it bigger than like 7 1/2. So let's see what it actually comes out to, because when you do beads, they will, because of their circumference, they will change their size as they go around. Okay, we want it down here. So it's right here, right here. We got to put our lobster claw and things on. So I think we are going to go over. Let's put these on loosely, and by that I mean we will put them This would be on one side, and then the lobster claw would be on the other. I'm not going to put them on all the way, but we are going to bring them up like they would be if we were going to put them on, so that we have some idea of what the final size is. So we'll do the same over here. I will put the lobster claw directly on here, though I wouldn't leave it on here. I wouldn't crimp it onto here if we were doing this as our real sizing, as our finished piece, because lobster claws have a spring inside them. If it breaks, the lobster claw is useless. And if you've gone and attached directly to that lobster claw, then what would happen then is you'd have to restring the whole bracelet. If the lobster claw breaks and you have it on a jump ring, then then you don't have that issue, because it's going to way bigger than I thought it would be. So I definitely I'm going to take off the English cut and the two spacers on that side. On either side, actually, and then it should get a bit smaller. So we will pull this back apart. Oops, don't lose your jump ring, Rose. And then right here, take these off. Then we're going to put this one back on. Just like we had it before, so we can reassess as soon as we get them off the other side as well. Now remember, we also have the little bit of space of our jump ring. Though if I wanted to, I could change this bigger jump ring to a teeny tot, because I do have some. So we'll take off these. And put this one back on. Seems inevitably when I don't do this, I end up with it being either larger or smaller than I want my bracelets to be. So I always try to do this. Okay. Now we will hook it back together again, and we will put it on the sizer and see what it's looking like now. Drop her down there, and now she's about 7. So that's about where we want it. So I will take the lobster claw off the one side, because we want it to have a jump ring. And because it was just about where we wanted it, I'm going to find a teeny tot to put it back on. So let's get this side crimped, because it's done. cut this excess off. Let this all slide down to this side. Now we're going to take this back out again, like I said, because we want to get a tiny jump ring on here. Okay, now we will put this jump ring away because it is a little bigger than we want, considering that it is, we want not as little space as there as we can. I'm going to take it and put it away here as I get out the tiny tot. See how small that one is? It's still just big enough to put on the lobster claws, so that works just fine. Now we're going to put this little guy on. And we'll get it through the crimp tubes and through the beads and crimp this side. Where are you at? There it comes. Now I'm going to take my pliers, I'm going to hold this little guy and pull. That way he's going to be my stability for pulling it up, but it'll get it pretty tight, and that looks pretty good. So I'm going to crimp this little crimp tube here. Put it straight in the middle of the divot and squish. Then turn. Get out of there, little guy. Oop. I'm going to do something I normally don't do because this little guy is getting in the way. And I'm going to open him up and put the lobster claw on before I finish crimping. That way, the lobster claw will keep it from sliding into my, into my crimping pliers. There we go. Now, because I can hold on to the lobster claw, it will be easier to crimp this without the little guy getting in my way here. Come on, bracelet, stop twisting around on yourself. baby doesn't look very pretty, but it doesn't seem to want to crunch anymore either. Oh, there we go. Much better. So now we're going to cut this extra wire off. And our bracelet's finished. Now we will just have to hook it together here, and we'll see if it came out where we wanted it. I think it should have. Right there. Maybe a little bit lower than 7, but not all the way down to 7 1/4. So about 7 1/8. Is she pretty? And there we go. She's all done. And I think the gold was really a pretty choice. I think it looked really good and it matched our little stripe on our bead. I would have rather these were gold, but they work just fine as they are. So there's our finished bracelet. So there you have it. Isn't it pretty? This is our finished bracelet using our bargain bead box for July Plumage. Like I say, these are a silver, but they're not bad. Because the beads are butted right up against them, you really don't see the silver so much. Though you can tell it's silver if you look, and the rest is gold. But I think it turned out very, very pretty. I really like it. So this has been Rose from In Rose's Garden, and again, we have been using the bargain bead box for July Plumage to make this lovely necklace, bracelet. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.